Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about this 17-inch studio monitor. It's an Apple monitor that I actually picked from the trash. Now when I say picked from the trash, I mean there's a place that we have here locally. He used to be a liquidator, but he's closing down. But he's got a section outside where he just throws things away, and this had been sitting there for a while. I thought it was pretty cool. I walked by and saw it, and as you can see, it's in really bad condition, so I thought we could put it together, clean it up, and then we'll hook it up to one of these to see if it works. I wanted to hook it up to my Macintosh 2 SI, but unfortunately, this does not work right now. It's got issues where it won't even boot up. It just goes in like a cycle of clicking over and over and over, and I replaced the battery, but that didn't seem to help it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use my Power Macintosh 7200 120 PC compatible. I need to replace the battery in that too and have a look at a couple of things inside of it. So we'll see if we can restore this, and then we'll look inside of the Power Macintosh and see what we can do in there. So let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back. Here we are. If you can see the monitor here, it is in really bad shape. That's fine, we're going to fix it up. That little Apple decal is actually missing and I don't have another one, so I'll probably have to find that and order it. But let's just go ahead and get everything ready. This should be a simple process of just using a lot of pressure. You're going to have to be careful but firm and get these clips back into place. And they're a little odd, but once you get the hang of it, you can just kind of get them back in there. It's no problem. This is actually nowhere near as bad as it looks. So just kind of work it a little at a time. Those clips are very thin plastic, so they can break. Make sure you're very, very careful, even if you are applying nice firm pressure. But anyway, as you can see, we're just about done. It's just a matter of kind of getting it in there right, and I believe we're about finished here. We've got a couple more clips left to go, and then everything will be in place. And a little bit more pressure, and it looks like we've just about got it. And that's that. Really, really easy. But if you don't know what you're doing and you're not careful, it can take a while. All right, let's go ahead and get this cleaned off. And after we do that, we can kind of see if it'll work. Yeah, that decal is going to be a big problem. I don't know if you can find those online. I'll have to look. But let's just get some tissue and some isopropyl alcohol here, and we'll get this thing cleaned up as much as possible. The screen's a little gunky, and overall, for being a trash pick, though, it's not really that dirty. I've seen a heck of a lot worse. So here we go. We'll wipe off the front, and this is going to give me a lot of problems. I don't know what kind of marker they used there, but it does not want to come off even with alcohol and pressure. I'm sure there's something I can do to get that. I don't know if I want to use nail polish remover because that can hurt the plastic if you're not careful, but I'll find something and we'll get that off, even if it doesn't come off right now, which I don't think it will. Yeah, I'm really giving it a good scrub and it's just not responding. I got a little bit off, but it's just not worth it for me right now. So I'll just wipe everything else off, and then I'll get to the screen and get that cleaned up, and we should be good to go. Yeah, this screen, it's got a couple of scratches on it. They're not really that bad. I suspect it won't show up when you're actually using it, and there are methods to kind of lessen the appearance of scratches like that on glass that we can maybe look at later. I'm not going to mess with that right now, but it's possible. All right, let's turn it on. And we've got power. We've got a green and then a red light, so that's good. What we're going to do now is go ahead and get it hooked up to the Power Macintosh 7200 120 PC compatible. And and we'll see what happens. I've never used this monitor before. But before we do that, let's go ahead and replace the battery inside this. That way the internal clock will work and all that good stuff. There's just 2 buttons on the front, and the Macintosh case just pops right off. And all this looks pretty heavy duty, but it's not. There are these 2 clips right here. And after you get them, it just lifts right up. This is a very easy computer to work on. So that lifts up and out of the way. There's the RAM and the VRAM and all that good stuff, the cache. And here's the battery. This just pops off. Now this is a 1/2 AA battery, and I ordered a bunch for my Macintosh 2 SI, so I had one left over here. And we're gonna go ahead and pop that in and see what it does. It's a simple process of taking that battery out and putting a new one in. Now these batteries are pretty expensive. I got some cheapies, and I think it was still like $11 for 4 of them, but I've seen these batteries from anywhere from that to $8 for one. So just check reviews. Here we go. This card pops out. I wanted to show you guys the PC compatible card. That was the RAM slot, and that was the processor. And there's like video connections and all sorts of good stuff there. But yeah, it takes its own RAM, or it'll share RAM with the Mac, and it's actually got a Pentium 100 CPU attached to it, and I believe that's soldered in. And that's what allows this computer to run MS-DOS and Windows 3.1 and I believe 95. Let's get everything closed back up here. Alright, let's just get this lid, and we're going to put this lid back on. It just slides right back on, just like that. And that is it. There we go. It's back together. So here is the keyboard connection. This Mac takes a very specific keyboard with a proprietary input. So we're going to get that plugged in. And really quick, I'll take you around and show you where the mouse plugs in, just in case you're not familiar with this specific computer. It plugs into the keyboard, so you flip the keyboard over, and there's where the mouse plugs in. And that's good to go. We got everything plugged in. We have to have an adapter for this Mac because it doesn't take your standard VGA monitor input. So I've got the adapter here. We'll go ahead and plug that adapter in, and this monitor will work just fine. This was actually a later monitor. These came out from, I believe, the late 90s, and they were sold until 2004. And this Power Mac is from the mid 90s, so it's not going to have that VGA connection. Apple didn't go with that for a while. So we've got that screwed in, and let's go ahead and power this computer on. I've got it way sped up. Yeah, as we can see, the monitor works, but we've got some bruising around the sides. And I tried to do a degaussing, but I didn't think that was going to work anyway, and it didn't. But it works, and, other than that bruising, which can be fixed, it could be anything from a circuit to a capacitor to anything else inside there. But we'll worry about that later. The good news is this thing works. And we're going to go ahead and set the date and time and then restart this bad boy and see if it actually keeps the date. That way we know the battery works. And what we'll do is, after we shut the computer down, we'll unplug it and just cycle the power out of it, and then we'll plug it back in. And if the battery's dead, then the date will reset to the bad date. If the battery's good, the date and the time will be just as we've left it here. Alright, so there we go. And gonna go ahead and close out of all of this. And before we do all that, I thought I'd show you a couple things about the computer. There we go. I've got 48 megabytes of RAM on this puppy. But I use RAM doubler, so that is doubled effectively. That RAM doubler program works really well. And let's kick it into MS-DOS for a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and show you everything here. It runs MS-DOS just fine, and what's happening is it kicks over to that PC compatible card, and it shares a hard drive with the Macintosh, and I'm using a separate RAM chip that is on the card for the RAM. And there you go, you see we've got a Pentium 100 CPU, and that's the RAM that we're working with. So let's go ahead and go into Microsoft Windows 3.11 and we'll see how that works. And yeah, the bruising, yeah, it's still there. It's not going away. I mean, that makes sense. This thing was probably kicked around and thrown around outside. That said, it's in surprisingly good condition, and I believe it can be fixed. But yeah, Windows 3.1 works like a charm. I mean, it should. We're using a Pentium 100. But it works great. You know, and it's seamless. You can actually switch back and forth between Windows and Mac, you know, just by hitting a key combination that you can set yourself. Anyway, we're going to go back into the Mac, and let's go ahead and shut this computer down, and we'll restart it to see if the date is as it should be. All right, it's shut down, and I've just kind of unplugged it and cycled the power to make sure to get all the power out of it, and we'll plug it back in, and I'm going to speed this up again so it doesn't take too long. There we go, starting it back up, and this will be the moment of truth. Will the date and time be where we left it? And we didn't get any weird pop-ups, so that's good. And it looks like everything's normal, so it's all fixed. Yay! It's a simple battery issue. And I mean, that's what I expected it to be, so that's good. Alright, now that we've got it booted back up and everything works and it's all fixed, and it's back to how it was basically when it came out of the factory, does anybody want to play Ultima for a few minutes? I kind of do. Let's see what it looks like. Even with that color bruising, I think it'll look pretty nice. Ooh, there we go. It's loading up. Ooh, let me get this bar out of the way. There we go. Let's play some freaking Ultima. I'll be back after we're done playing. All right, that about wraps it up. I think we got it, at least looking nice. And this, I'll have to use something stronger than alcohol to get that off, but that's okay. As for the bruising, I know somebody that can take a look at that and fix that. I'm not qualified to fix CRT monitors. At least we opened this up, replaced the battery, got that working well again. And you saw that you can run some pretty cool games with a Power Mac like Ultima. And that's all I've got for today. Pretty soon I'll do a video of getting that Macintosh 2 SI fixed, because I really want to use it. I got it for Christmas from my wife, so that's really exciting. But anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching Retro Tech Toys, and I'll see you next time.